Okay, so while my girlfriend's busy getting ready, I'm just going to do a little update. She's blocking out my light, but it's fine. I forgot what I was going to say now, so that's great.
Sorry.
It's not your fault, it's me.
Excuse me, thanks.
That one I'm not so sure. So yeah, I've not really been updating on my videos regarding my mental health. The other day I had a bit of a meltdown trying to edit videos, very stressful. I think I'm very impatient for a start, so editing things when I don't know the software and my laptop is just going very slow with it. I really need a new laptop, but you know, trans problems, too busy paying for my medical bills to do anything else right now. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to stick with that and do what I can with what I've got for now. So yeah, I had a bit of a meltdown the other night trying to do that because I've been at it for like 2 hours and gotten nowhere, literally nowhere. Been watching videos how to use this software and it wasn't working how it was working on the videos with my laptop because my laptop was just slow. So yeah, I was pretty anxious then and pretty worked up before bed, which is not a good time for that to happen. And then I feel like I had another day where I was anxious after that. Did I?
Yeah.
I feel like the morning after. What was I? Can you remember what it was about? I can't even remember. I feel like I was anxious a bit the day after as well. Because I just started going to therapy, and after the first session, so I'm doing self-help therapy for anxiety and my low moods, and after the first session I was told to write down whenever I was feeling anxious, which is pretty hard to do because I do forget sometimes and then I have to write in again. But from the record I've kept so far, I basically don't, like the most amount of days I go without being anxious is like 2 days. It's mostly like every other day that I'll be feeling anxious about something. Mainly because I feel anxious pretty much a lot of the time, but when it gets to the point where my chest is really hurting and I'm struggling to breathe, yeah, it's pretty much every other day now. So that's not great. It didn't used to be like this all the time. I've always had anxiety because I have autism and it's linked. Those two are linked together as far as I know, but they've not really like proven a link. I think it's just sort of recognised that they go hand in hand. I've never been taught how to deal with it, although I was diagnosed with autism from being a kid. I was never told how to deal with anxiety, which I think is really pretty terrible of the healthcare service, to be honest. I was never taught how to deal with it. Anything I learnt about it was from the internet. I learnt a lot from Tumblr and from people sharing their experiences on Twitter and things. That's how I really recognised that I did have anxiety, because even though we talked about it sometimes when I would come across, you know, medical professionals, and the word anxiety would come up, but at the time I just thought they meant like the feeling, but not really as a disorder. And then later on I realised that I definitely have some sort of disorder. It wasn't just a feeling of like anxious and being worried that everyone has. It was more than that. And yeah, I only realised that through the internet. Literally, that's how I realised it. So the internet educates people a lot more than, you know, the relevant things that should be educating people nowadays. I know it's educated me a lot. So yeah, it's gotten a lot worse more recently, I think, because when I left uni, you're sort of not really prepared for that. They don't really tell you how it's going to be when you leave uni and you're away from everyone that you've been socialising with for so long, and you're sort of out there on your own, and you've got to find a job, and this whole job search was very, very difficult for me. I find it difficult to sort of manage big tasks. It can be very overwhelming if there's a lot that I have to do. I struggle to think my way through it, and so that was very difficult. Also, in terms of just, I think job search is difficult for everyone. You know, it's an anxious time for a lot of people, but it was extra hard for me, I feel. Especially going through interviews and things. I was anxious for every single interview I went to, very anxious. And I always fear that I don't come across great in interviews, because I just don't think I'm the best with communication, as I know that's obviously going to be a disadvantage to me. So I worry about that. It was difficult, yeah. And then obviously for a long time I didn't find a job, and it was hard, and it was a difficult time. And I eventually got one. And I'm there now, but I don't enjoy it. So that's hard, and whenever I have to be somewhere on time, I find it very difficult. I feel like I'm under a lot of pressure, and that's when I get anxious. So literally every morning that I'm going to work, I know that I have to be there at a certain time, and I get anxious about not being there on time. Even if I've got time, I'll still be anxious about it. So mornings are very difficult for me. And before I sort of went on the medication that I'm on now, I was having full-blown panic attacks, which was not very nice. I've missed a lot of work from my anxiety so far, so that just causes more anxiety, because I just worry about, you know, losing my job because of something that I can't control, and that sucks. But things are getting better. Obviously, you know, discovering my identity now, that's a cause of anxiety, for the fact that, you know, first of all, it was like you were figuring out something big, and so it's like, wow, how am I going to deal with this now? And then after that, it's the fact that I need medical help to be able to feel better about myself, and it's very difficult to get. It's not easy to get that help, and the waiting is very difficult. I find it very hard to wait, and to see the light at the end of the tunnel, I find it hard. So it's a struggle. It's been a struggle because of all of those factors. I think have just heightened my anxiety that I already had, to the point where I really need help. So I've had my first therapy session. The second one is, I think, in about a week. So that's going to be the first real session. The first one was sort of an introductory thing. So hopefully that will help too. And obviously I don't want to be on this medication, these antidepressants long term. That's not good for any medication. It's not good to be on it long term, really. So I don't want to be doing that. I want to be able to help myself, and that's why I've gone to this therapy. It's self-help therapy, to try and learn how to manage it when I'm in the moment, because I don't know how to do that. And the way I deal with it now is very unhealthy. I end up hurting myself. You know, I've broke my part of my hand in the past. I can't really show you it because I'm holding my phone, but that was because I punched something because I was anxious. And it's a bad way of dealing with it, and I know that. But at the time, it's the only thing you can think of to help stop it. The physical pain helps stop the mental pain. And yeah, it's not a good way of dealing with it. I want to learn healthier coping mechanisms for when I'm feeling that, and hopefully get my life back on track, because every day's difficult now. Mainly when I'm at work. It's not so difficult for me at the weekends, but I still do get anxious, obviously. Mainly because I think about transition a lot, and I'm impatient for it, and I want to get where I'm at, and I'm feeling dysphoric, and that makes me anxious as well. So that's a lot of the cause of stress on a weekend, because that and through the weeks, because that's always on my mind at the moment. And then through the week, it's just work and navigating that, and getting there on time, and relying on public transport, and getting ready, and all those things, little things to other people. It's very difficult for me. So yeah, progress is being made, and hopefully I'll get to the point where, you know, I'm not missing work because I can't do that. And you know, at the moment I need every penny that I can get, because the transition's expensive. I'm having to go privately for my testosterone, at least in the meantime, while I'm waiting for the NHS gender clinic, because that can take 2 years or so just to get an initial appointment, maybe longer. And so yeah, I'm going privately with that, and then I do intend to go privately with top surgery, because that can be 3 years. And it's just too long to wait, but it's going to still be a long time for me to get that sorted, because I've got to get 7 grand together somehow. So okay, that's it for this little update.